for instance, and you are supposed to be providing support to lots of staff or lots of customers in every location. If a staff calls you from Abuja that he has problem with his computers, as a back officer, you don't need to travel to Abuja. You send him a link. When you send him a link, he clicks on it. Immediately he clicks on it, you take control of his system. You get into his system from wherever you are and you solve his problem. So it's the same thing as somebody from Abuja calling. It's the same thing as somebody from Kaduna calling. It's the same thing as somebody from anywhere in the country calling. The back officer, once they call the back officer, his job is to provide IT support. So you have problem. What's the problem? You explain. Say fantastic. So I'm going to send you a link now. You can't do it. So I'll send you a link. Click on it. Once you click on it, the computer becomes mine for 15 minutes. So that's exactly how it is. Who are the back officers in the Nigerian scenario? It is the elders. It is the old men. It is the retired generals. It is the retired major generals. So that's their job. Because the success of Nigeria is the success of everybody. I've always said this in the past that I'm not a partisan politician. My wish for this country is that all should be well. I was listening to the Oba of Benin speak. He was trying to discuss with his chiefs, and he was saying that all he wants for his people is ofuri, ofuri, ofuri. That's exactly what it is. When an Edo man says ofuri, ofuri, say all is well, everything is fine. So if you don't say ofuri, ofuri, you can say lafia, 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 lafia. Lafia is the response to the greeting of an Hausa man. Yani lafia, ya gida lafia, ya muta ni chicken gida lafia. So if a Hausa man is trying to ask you how are you, the response is lafia, lafia, lafia. So if they can tear my heart and they figure out what's inside, that's all you see. I want the best for this country. So the best of this country is linked to the next president. That is why they need to scan through and bring out a young guy that represents the strength to Buhari's weaknesses. Once that is done, fantastic. So I want to be anywhere in the world and I open my TV and they see the Nigerian president is coming forward to address the world in a United Nations summit or whatever. He comes out, he speaks, and when he's done speaking, the world is shaking their head. When he's done talking, he comes for a quick chat or an interview. Unexpectedly, they're trying to test his aptitude. He's coming out, he's making so much sense. The world is shaking. So if you get the world to shake their head in agreement to everything you're saying, do you know what that means? Joe Biden will be rolling out the checks. See, I just listened to the Nigerian president. Fantastic guy. I just listened to the Nigerian awesome guy. You call the guy in US AID. Can you roll out some checks, grants, and benefits for these guys? It might sound funny, but that's the truth. Oh, I'm telling you. It might sound funny, but that's the truth. As president of America, he has the capacity to write checks for all the nations of the world. So, coming up with a fantastic president, coming up with a great president makes the job easier. Gaskiya. Till the guy shows up, he just said, when he's done, they are trying to interview him. Look at the president of South Africa, Ramaphosa. I love Ramaphosa so much. You know, when you see somebody is fantastic, Ramaphosa represents somebody you see is a fantastic guy. The guy in Rwanda is also like that, fantastic guy. So Nigeria needs to come up with somebody like that. Say he's young, his antecedents fits into the strength Buhari does not represent. So you can get the world to do anything you want. You don't need all of them to agree. You just need to fall into the good books of the Americans. Because the president of America controls the world. Look at Jerome Powell. Jerome does not really know that he has the world in his hand. That's the truth. I gave I wrote a piece about power and money, and I even spoke about it in one of my old phones. The reason I wrote about it is because of Jerome Trump. When he was president, he looked at Jerome and he says, I want you close to me. I'm going to make you the Fed's chair. Is the chair of the Feds, the Federal Reserve, what you call Godwin. Godwin is a Delta man. What you call Godwin in Mayfield is exactly who Jerome is. Fed's chair. When Jerome talks, dollar listen. Agbala. When Jerome Powell talks, pounds they listen. When Jerome Powell talks, euros they listen. So that is the kind of power Jerome has. If he does not know it, he has the capacity to control the world. I'm telling you, just comments. He's the guy in charge of Federal Reserve. Just comments. Jerome shows up. He tells investors, don't worry. So we are making plans to allay your fears. See, we understand that there are pressure points. We understand that there are pain points linked to inflation. We are also making moves to make sure that the inflation is under check. So don't focus on inflation, focus on other economic indicators. See, the GDP is robust. See, the American economy is experiencing a robust rebound. The economy is getting ready to roar like a bull on steroids. Do you know what that does to investors? Investors, the guy in India is here, we are pumping, we're going to pump money. You see, the problem I have with this country is that we have not gotten our economic fundamentals right. If we get our economic fundamentals right, we'll plug in into Jerome's. If we get our economic fundamentals right, we'll plug in into Wall Street, because Jerome has the capacity to control Wall Street. All he needs to do is to make comments. All he needs to do is to write. When he does the write-up, he gives his testimony. The world listens. Global market listens. So you see, one man has the capacity to direct global investors. The reason why Nigeria is not plugging in yet is because market sentiment is linked to the economic fundamentals. The economic fundamentals in Nigeria are not looking good. Investors in Nigeria, they are very cautious when they see that the bull is roaring. When they see that the market is experiencing a bullish run, they make moves. So what are they making moves for? Say they want to sell, profit taking. So the whole essence of this talk is Nigeria should be smart enough to scan through the country and come up with a fantastic candidate to be president. Whether we like it or not, the world have their eyes in this country. That's the truth. They are seeing signs. They say magic is happening in that country. Say God is interested in raising Solomons from there. God is interested in doing fantastic things in that country. God has his eyes in that country. So we should just make the job easier by coming up with a fantastic guy. He just shows up with his high intellectual capacity, with his aptitude, with his antecedents. All he just needs to do is to say the right words at the right time. Shikena. When Hausa man says shikena, it means finished. So we want Biden to listen to the Nigerian president. And he says, I love him. That's all. We want Angela Merkel to listen to the Nigerian president talk and say, I'm in love with him. We want Macron of France to listen to the new Nigerian president and say, I like him. That's all. When that is done, grants will have no choice but to head in our direction. When that is done, financial aid will have no choice but to head in our direction. So if one man, the American president, has the capacity to write checks for the world, it gives you an idea of what he can do. He likes you. Get ready for goodies. It's that simple, it's that straightforward. So let me end with what the Bible says. The Bible says, the Lord is our shepherd. We shall not want. So Nigeria should tap into the analogy of a shepherd. A shepherd is like a back officer. A shepherd is always behind the flocks. That's exactly who God represents. God is a back officer. When they are to present the most agile and bring him forward. So when they bring him forward, the guy will begin to lead while the back officers still be behind. So that's exactly what it means. You see, you don't really get to see God. So when I say God is a back officer, that's exactly what I mean. You don't really get to see God, but the works of his hands are undeniable. That's the logical reason why no one can battle with God and win. If anyone wants to really fight God, he or she is handicapped. That person has got an assignment to do. It's a simple but impossible task. Look and search for God. When you see him, then the battle begins. So, if anybody is interested in the best for this country, that person should be interested in projecting a new president or the next president for this country. And that president must be young. That person must be young. That person must fit into some of the qualities I've talked about in the past.